garden friends, it's Mel with Sucky Crafts, and today I have a round Hypertufa pot, one of my bigger pots. Look at this jumbo, yo. Oh man, I love the shape. I don't remember what I made it out of, but you can tell that it was another planter. I can tell by these little like little lines here at the bottom. So I don't have it anymore, the mold at least. But check this out, this is like 4 or 5 years old. It's so beautiful because it's nice and solid. I can tell that I made it with a lot of concrete because it's really heavy and it's nice and deep, and I can put in a whole lot of succulents in there. And I'll show you the gems that I have. Ooh, this is an Echeveria Golden Glow or Echeveria Lemon Lime. I believe it goes by 2 names, maybe even more. But check that out, look how green that is. That is so beautiful. And if you stress this succulent out, meaning if you give it enough light, the margins on the leaves, they get like orange or red. I mean, the contrast is just beautiful. But check out the shape on this plant. It is huge. The leaves are nice and long, and they're really thick and wide. Such a beautiful succulent plant. Echeveria Golden Glow or Lemon Lime. That's the star of the show. And to add some height, I have Kalanchoe Panda Plant. It's a fuzzy one. You can pet it all day. I'm sure I can sit here and just, you know, on a bad day, just come out and pet my Kalanchoe Panda Plant. Check the detail on the rim there. So it's like a copper brown red color. So beautiful. And right here I've got 1, 2, 3 little plants. So it's a cluster of 3. Very beautiful. And it's that minty green. Check it out, that minty green with the like the margins are almost dotted, kind of scalloped in a way as well. So beautiful. Kalanchoe Panda Plant. I have a fun one right here. This is a sedum, and it's a little untamed. Look, it's kind of growing wild here. And I'll get a little closer here so you can really see it, and I'll try to focus. Look at that. Look at that. That is so beautiful. So this is a hybrid of the pork and beans. So it's like the pork and beans, but in a miniature size. Check that out. That is so juicy. Oh man, I'm gonna use this as filler. And I love the way that it's kind of split right down the middle, so I can use this little cluster and I can use this cluster here. And that is Sedum Mini-Me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I have another green Echeveria. This is Echeveria Ramillet. Look at that. Look how it grows. So it's like chubby and super round. It's got a lot of leaves, so it's like a little dense cluster there, or dense rosette, I should say. It's a beautiful green. It's short. It grows wide, but short. Very beautiful. Look at the shape. Oh man, that is beautiful how it fans out that way. Oh, I just love it. This is Ramillet. Pretty little name there. I've got an aloe to add some interest, some texture, and this is Mini Bell. Aloe Mini Bell, and it's pretty sharp. It's got some white teeth on the rim or the margins of the leaves, and they're pretty hard. So if you kind of hit it the wrong way, it will kind of hurt. But I mean, not as spiny as a cactus. So still pretty workable, but it's that beautiful like apple green color with white teeth on it. So it's very beautiful, and it does make a lot of babies at the base if you take care of it, if you're nice to it. This is Mini Bell. And I hear that whoever made this succulent named it after their wife, Belle. Isn't that adorable? Oh man, I would love to be named after a succulent. Oh, I have a Crassula here, and it's nicely stressed. This is Crassula conjuncta. I have a little trouble pronouncing that, but check that out. So it grows stacked, just like that. And look at the red on the margins there. So it's that lime green with red color. Love it. I'm going to use this as like a filler. I may kind of like cut them individually and kind of fill them in here and there. That's what I like to do with Crassulas, at least. This is another Crassula, and this is the classic Jade plant. I've also heard it being called the money plant. I may be wrong, but I think so. So this is a classic Crassula. If you are a succulent beginner, I highly recommend that you start with Crassula varieties, specifically the Jade plant. Very forgiving, and it grows really, really well under harsh conditions, for sure. And last but not least, I wanted to add some blue because as you can see, I'm working with a lot of green. This is Echeveria Violet Queen, and it's not stressed at all. So it's still super, super light blue, almost white, because it's got that farina on it. And we all know that farina is a succulent sunscreen, of course. But check that shape out. It looks like a star, a huge star. But if it's stressed, it starts to turn pink. So very, very beautiful succulent to have, and it's super prolific. Echeveria Violet Queen. So I'm going to get started on this, and I'm going to fill this planter up all the way with soil, and I'm going to use quite a lot because, like I said before, it's really deep. So it's going to take almost all the soil that I prepped here. All right. So what am I going to do first? I'm going to go for the biggest succulent that I have, and that is the Golden Glow. So I'm going to kind of put this to the side here, and I'm going to work here, and I'm going to squeeze that out. And it's got a lot of like old leaves at the base there, and I'm just gonna pop them right out. They're so dry that, look, they're not giving me any fight. But I will kind of shake some of that soil from the top there, just so I can have some space to fit this in. And it was a little moist, so it's a lot easier to shake off, because when the soil is super dry, you kind of have to rip it apart. Okay, and I will start right here in this corner, so it's like the left corner in the back. Make my well, and towards the rim, I'll kind of lean it towards the rim because it's really big. It is really big. And I'll shuffle all of that soil around. And make sure that some of that soil is actually covering this part of the root ball, even in the back. You can't forget that part. Okay, perfect. So now that I have my huge Golden Glow, oh my god, I can't believe how big it is. All right, I'm gonna work with my panda plant, and I'm gonna work it over here on this side. All right, so I'm gonna make my well right there, get this out, and even though it's 3 plants, it's a cluster, so they're all gonna kind of stick together, I'm hoping. So I won't really like take a lot of that root ball off because I don't want it to fall apart on me. Okay, perfect. And I'm gonna fit it right in here. Just like that. Oh, the impact that a kalanchoe makes in an arrangement, it's like, it like has me speechless here. I don't even know what to say, but it's like automatic. The color, you know how it's fuzzy, it's just so different, right, from the Echeveria. And I even have the cheek to say the common Echeveria, you know, they used to be not as common, but now most of them pretty easy to get. And it's these types right here that are just getting more and more popular, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, so now in the center right here, let's see, I'm going to put a little cluster of the mini-me. And I did mention at first that it's kind of split in 2 naturally already, so that's what I'm gonna do. So don't be afraid, I'm just gonna kind of see where it splits and kind of just rip it apart. You can't be afraid. And I'm gonna lay this down just like that because it is super fragile. I'm gonna grab this side here. Ooh, and I'm not gonna really like bother it too much, just a little bit right here. And I'm gonna put some right here. Oh yes, ooh yeah, I am digging that. Oh my gosh, I kind of feel like eating it. Is that weird? just want to just take a bite out of it. Oh my gosh. I just love succulents, as you can see, as you can tell. But this one especially, like the little sedums, are my favorite. They're my favorite. Absolutely. Okay, so now that I've got this in the center, now I'm working around this area here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 succulents to work with. So I'm gonna have to get a little smart here. So since I've got the green here, I'm gonna put another green on this side. I don't want to put another green right next to it because I want to add some balance. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go for the ramulette. And since it's nice and low, I think that it'll look good right by the rim here. Gonna shake off some of that soil and I'm gonna just put my mini-me right over here. All right, so that was a little more dry and it's got a ton of old leaves here that I have to just, you gotta pluck them off. It's better off because then they attract little pests like mealybugs. They like to live in the old little leaves there. So it's good to pluck the little old leaves off. Okay, so I tucked that one in right at the rim there and I kind of shuffled around some soil right there. Perfect. Ooh, that is looking really nice. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm gonna turn this a little more. Okay, so I've got this over here. I think that I should put my violet either, yeah, I'm gonna put, okay, I'm gonna put my jade right over here because I do want to use the jade. I really, really do. So I've got it right over here and it's not that big of a cluster. It's okay. But I am going to take some of that soil off. I've got to be a little rough with this one. It was root bound. And root bound means that the roots grew and grew and grew and they grew around the pot and they kind of bounded to the shape of the pot. If that makes any sense. Root bound is when all the roots entangle with one another and it makes it like really hard. And sometimes you have to tear the little roots apart. It doesn't hurt it. But that one was super root bound. So you see, I got the little jade here now. So I'm gonna add a little more soil here. And I'm gonna put some right over here. Press it down a bit. And I'm gonna have to fit my violet queen. All right, so. Oh, beautiful. It's got a few little leaves here at the base that are nice, are dried up, not nice at all. Let me correct myself. Okay, and it's not that big, so that's good. And I'm gonna kind of center it right there. Oh my gosh, see, you see the balance between the kalanchoe, the panda plant, that blue, with the balance of this blue. That's why it's important when you pick out your succulents for your arrangements to keep the color, the balance of colors in mind. And the textures, different textures, it doesn't hurt either. All right, so I'm gonna kind of place that there so I can make my well. And I kind of filled it up with a little too much soil. So I'll take a little bit of soil out. All right, make my well right here in the center. Grab that violet queen and gently tuck her in. Oh, that is so beautiful. And now I will add more soil around her, just like that, like a little blanket. Okay, just tuck her in right there. Oh my gosh, violet queens, I mean, they're queens. I mean, they're so magnificent, the way they grow like that in such big like rosettes. I mean, this one all on its own in a terracotta pot is just enough, I think. Okay, so now I've got that aloe that I'm worried about because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit it in. I've got this mini bell. What should I do with this mini bell? Should I just, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. So I'm gonna make a well right here by the jade. A little deep one, just like that. Take the mini bell out. And look, this is a perfect example to what root bound is. Look at that. So let me focus my camera. Give me a break. Okay, right there. Look at that. So the roots literally became like part of the shape of the, they became the shape of the pot. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So that is a perfect example of a succulent, or in this case, the aloe that's become root bound. So hopefully that makes a little sense. All right, so I'm just gonna shake it off, kind of set those roots loose, set them free, so to speak. And look at that, very shallow roots, but very healthy, very healthy. So beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my well a little deeper. And I'm going to fit that mini bell right by the Violet Queen. Oh yeah, you see the contrast of something so soft like the Violet Queen there, and then something so aggressive like the mini bell right beside it. It adds so much interest, like your eyes go straight to that little part right there. I just love it. I love it. I love mixing succulents that aren't normally combined together. Gives it a little unique touch. Okay, and now I've got a little bit of space here, and I've got some conjuncta. Conjuncta. That is an interesting word. It's one of those words that if you keep saying over and over, it sounds like an alien word. Conjuncta, conjuncta, conjuncta. I'm being a total dork. All right, so I kind of like took it apart here, and I'm gonna, let's see. I can add a little right here. Gonna really dig in there so it can go right in. Gonna lay it in there just like that. Make sure that I fill that hole or that space that I just did, fill it back up with soil. Boom, just like that. And maybe some right here. So I have another cluster here, and it's become into 2 clusters, but I'll kind of take that leaf off because it was falling apart anyway. So I'll kind of combine them just like that, like a little cluster, and work on my little well here. All right, so I can just pop them right in there. And Crassulas, at least this type, you know, they're very, very, they're strong. They're strong little plants that you can kind of mess with and press kind of hard. And they kind of just keep their cool. They kind of take it very gracefully. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, that worked out just perfect. And guess what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna cascade some of this mini-me down right here, because it's, I mean, how much more sedum? I mean, I just need to add more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come around on this side. I'm gonna make my well. Okay, and I've got the little mini-me's right here, and I'm really gonna take a lot of that soil from the roots there, just like that. And hopefully, if I work that well in nice and deep, I can just kind of fit them right in and fill that spot up. Gonna grab some soil. I'm gonna lift the sedum up just like that, just so it gives it a little more support, because it's kind of like floating like awkwardly down the rim there because it had no support. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of separate them. Oh yeah, that is just perfect. because I got some sedum here, and now this sedum is just gonna fall down and grow nice and long down the rim, because I have to take advantage of this planter being one of the taller ones that I have. And that's where the sedum, you know, works its magic. So I'm gonna kind of clean up here. All right. Get this out of the way. Use my brush here. Okay, and I'm gonna face it in the way that I want it to look, so it's gonna be like this. That's how the arrangement should look, like on my shelf at least. And I'm gonna just really clean the rim here. Make more mess. Make more of a mess. Yeah. I wasn't very smart. I should have dusted off the rim before getting my jumbo brush. Okay. Oh, perfect. That looks so nice. I'm gonna grab my little blower here. Whoa. Working a little too fast. I gotta slow down. All right, there we go. And that's perfect. I could use some stones here and there, and I'll go for it. Why not? I got the green light. All right. I'm just gonna get my rocks here. All right, here I go. Yeah, I know. It's like, really? Do you really have to do it all the time? Every time? But yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do. So I'm going to work around this side. Tuck them all in, because this is what's going to finish off the arrangement. Oh yeah, that is so good. I love it. I really love, even though I used a ton of green, even though there's just little hints of red right here, there's the sedum, it's just enough, because it's not all like it's not like I used all Echeverias. That's why it looks that's why it's more interesting to look at, because even though there's a lot of green, it's different textures. It's not like rosettes upon rosettes, because sometimes I make arrangements and I get lost in the rosettes, like it's just rosette here, rosette there, like it starts to all blend together, and it has no charm at that point. But this one definitely has a lot of charm in this one, especially with the addition of the sedum. Okay, so I got that in. I'm tucking my little stones in. This was a lot of fun. I had no idea what I was gonna do with this one, and I didn't think I was gonna fit everything in there, but I'm so happy how it came out. Like, I mean, my those good endorphins. Is there bad endorphins? I don't know. But I'm like really feeling the high right now. Like after you get off the treadmill, this is my type of exercise. Brain exercise, at least. I am really feeling this one. Look at it. Wow, look at that. Check it out. That is so beautiful. I can't wait to see this really grow into what it can grow into. And I'm specifically talking about this sedum right here on both sides. I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something new, or saw a new plant that you've never seen before. And until next time, bye garden friends.